I wonder if two sets of identical twins get married and each couple has a child, could the resulting children be identical? Hey, do you think this is possible?
Well, based off my knowledge of meiosis, DNA, and traits, I believe that they will not be identical, even though there is a very, very slight chance that they could be identical.
You were right about it being extremely unlikely, but still possible.
Oh, really? How'd you find that out?
If you look at the process of meiosis, there are a couple of things happening that support our theory. Meiosis is a type of cell division in which the number of chromosomes is half that of the original in each of the new cells. Meiosis produces four new cells that are genetically different, meaning they each have different DNA within them. This is caused by two things. The first being crossing over, which occurs during prophase 1 of meiosis. Crossing over is when homologous chromosomes pair up and become attached to one another. Crossing over removes section of DNA between homologous chromosomes and allows for independent assortment. Crossing over during meiosis allows for the recombination of genes between homologous chromosomes. Second, during meiosis, the pairs of homologous chromosomes are divided in half to form haploid cells, and this separation of homologous chromosomes is random. This is called random assortment. In order for the children to be identical, the resulting sex cells from meiosis would have to have the same 23 chromosomes. The odds of one person producing two sex cells with the same 23 chromosomes is about 1 in 8,388,608. Whether or not the chromosomes are the same between the children can be identified using karyotypes, which are an organized profile of chromosomes.
Within chromosomes are our genes. A gene is the basic physical and functional unit of heredity. Genes, which are made up of DNA, act as instructions to make molecules called proteins. In humans, genes can vary in size from a few hundred DNA bases to more than 2 million bases. It is estimated that humans have about 20,000 to 25,000 genes. Each gene has two alleles which determine the genotype. The genotype determines the phenotype, which is how the trait is expressed. Offspring receive one allele from each parent. Punnett squares are used to show the possible genotype for offspring using the alleles from the parents. In order for the children to be identical, each genotype will have to be exactly the same.
Looking more closely at DNA, it is revealed that identical twins are not exactly the same. This is due to a couple things. One is that environmental factors can cause changes to one's DNA. For example, chemicals and ultraviolet radiation can damage DNA, causing mutations.
Also, identical twins can have a copy number variation. Copy number variations are alterations of the DNA of a genome that results in the cell having an abnormal or, for certain genes, a normal variation in the number of copies of one or more sections of the DNA, meaning that identical twins may have a different number of copies of the same gene.
With these in mind, the parents do not have the exact same DNA as their twin. Therefore, one parent might pass some DNA to their offspring that his or her twin does not have.
In conclusion, it is possible for the resulting children to be identical, but due to all these factors, it is exceedingly unlikely for this to happen.